Plaintiff Janine Walters says she and the defendant were adopted by the same family. But after their adopted mother died, they were both subjected to years of physical abuse. Janine claims once they were on their own, Janine took the defendant into her home. But she's suing because she claims the defendant wrecked her car. Defendant Alicia Walters says when she was 19, she was put out of her home. And that's when she moved to Indiana, where Janine was living. Alicia insists she was making payments to Janine for the car. And eventually, Janine told her to just keep her money.
Start with you.
Just to give a background on me and my adopted sister, I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I was adopted because my parents, birth parents, I didn't really know too much about them besides my mother, birth mother, was addicted to drugs, and I was in a hospital. And from there, my adopted mother raised me.
What age?
Far as I can remember, as a young girl,
Meet your mother?
Have I met her?
Your birth mother?
No, I never got a chance to meet her at all. But sadly, my adopted mom passed before the adoption was finalized.
How old were you? Still a
I was like,
still a baby?
Yeah, I was like at that time preteen, like 12, around that age. Which before she passed away, she made one of her family members promise to her on her deathbed to not give us back in the system. And at that time, Alicia came along. She was fairly young. I want to say like a baby, few months old. I helped change diapers, feed her, do her hair.
Staying with who? I missed who you moved with then.
I moved with my knowledge to this day is my stepfather, my adopted father.
How was she related? You say she was living there too, right?
Right, she's not blood related.
I know, but you all have the same stepdad?
Yes.
Okay.
You
all lived in the same household?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor. From there, I just helped, because it was 5 girls in a home and only 1 boy. My father, I had to help with.
You were the oldest or something?
Second oldest.
Okay.
I had to help with hair, stuff like that, food, just stuff like that. It got to the point in the household where it got physically and verbally abusive, which ultimately made me make the decision of having to move out at a very young age. I left when I was 17 after I had my first child. At that point, I went with my older sister who had moved out the year prior. We both went to Indiana. At that time, she obtained housing, and I moved in shortly with her. Before moving in shortly with her, I made a promise to my little sister at the time, which I believe she was like preteen at that point.
This sister?
Yes. To always keep in contact with her. I would always come back and see her, which I did. It was just, I couldn't come back to my house, couldn't even step on the front porch. So I used to have to meet her down the street, give her clothes, hugs, we'd talk, food, just always try to keep our relationship. When she turned, I want to say 16, 17, we tried to get her to move to Indiana with us, but unfortunately she was still a minor. And when we did so, he did report her as a runaway, so we had to return her back to his home. And at that time, we told her, when you turn legal age, if you need to, we will come get you. And that's exactly what we did. Alicia was able to obtain housing when we got her to Lafayette, Indiana. She obtained her first housing, and we moved in shortly again.
Good. What happened to the stepdad?
He's still alive. He's still around. I don't have too much of a relationship with him, but
how about the other sisters?
Nobody really has a relationship with him. At this point, everybody just cordial. When we do see each other, when we do have to be around. Sadly, my adopted mom passed before the adoption was finalized. Before she passed away, she made one of her family members promise to her on her deathbed to not give us back in the system.
Plaintiff Janine Walters says she and the defendant were adopted by the same family. But after their adopted mother died, they were both subjected to years of physical abuse.
We get some background from you.
I grew up in the same home as her. She did leave before, I left. And I was 19 when my foster dad had put me out. So that's what made me come to Indiana and get on my feet and everything.
Why he put you out?
As I got older.
Your foster dad or your stepdad?
Foster dad. I don't look at him as stepdad's foster dad, so.
What does that mean?
Our adopted father.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I got older, I started speaking my mind. So by the time I turned 19, I graduated from Chicago Vocational Career Academy High School. And I came home and all my stuff was packed and, on the porch, and they came and got me. As I moved out to Indiana, she did stay with me at my first place. I wasn't charging her anything. We was just basically building a relationship for the years we missed out on each other. So,
did you ever stay with her?
At two of her places, yes, after getting evicted at one of mine.
Right. How long altogether?
This was 2020.
Mm-hmm. How long altogether has she stayed with you?
The first time when she moved in with me and my boyfriend, it was approximately anywhere from like 6 months to 8.
Okay. And what's the second time?
The second time was like the same amount of length, if not a little
How long she lived with you?
She was just there. I never gave her the
On and
time
off.
Say you lived with her. I thought you said
I was at my
she moved in with you. I thought you said she moved in.
No, I moved
in. It
in.
was the opposite.
Yeah.
You moved in with them. But she never moved in with you.
She moved in
I
my
moved
first
in
place.
with her.
Hold on, man.
sorry.
Go ahead. She moved in with?
Yes, my first place. She did move in with me after I moved out there and got on my place. Like I said, I never gave her no time limit because, like I said, we was rebuilding.
How long did she stay?
I was there for about a year and a half.
All right. What else you want me to know?
As far as the car accident,
Yeah, I don't know about that yet, so I'm gonna allow her to give me some explanation on the lawsuit.
She
Start
a little
with
bit confused when I did stay with her when she first came to Lafayette, Indiana, Your Honor. It was probably like no more than like 6 months, because shortly after that, I left and moved in with my boyfriend at the time.
All right.
Came back to Chicago. And after that, everything was still okay. Just she was living a different lifestyle and a pace that I wasn't really interested.
What does that mean?
She was still young, so she wanted to her friends be her house.
How old was she?
Alicia was like under 20, so which nothing's wrong with that, but I was done with having a bunch of people over partying and stuff like that, and I was telling her,
Partying as in drinking, underage drinking at your house to get you locked up?
No, this is it.
Yeah, you did right. If she was over there under 21
It was
friends
technically
drinking,
it was
you go
her.
to jail.
It was her household, so I just left.
Oh, okay.
I said I didn't want no parts of that because she's in a low income, and you gotta get your feet wet. You gotta learn your own lessons. I can't keep showering
Right.
you. So
Okay.
I left.
And tell me about the lawsuit here.
What brings us today, which is an unfortunate thing, Your Honor. I haven't seen or talked to my little sister in over 2 years due to this car accident because approximately 2 years ago, Alicia called me in distress, saying that she was getting put out with her child's father with her current baby. Her child is autistic, and I immediately felt sorry for her. So I drove from my home where I was living at the time, Matson, Illinois, to Lafayette, Indiana. Picked her and her child up the same day. When did so, her child and her came to my home. He didn't have the necessary needs that as an infant needed, because I guess she couldn't get everything. So at that time, I was, went out and bought the necessary things for her. Then I bought him some foods because stuff I had in my household, he didn't eat. So I had to make adjustments. At that point in time, I told her, take your time, get on your feet, but you will have to, get a job and start holding your own. At that point in time, Alicia, she did get her a job. My son, which at the time he was 15 going into 16, offered to help her with babysitting so she didn't have to pay for childcare for her child.
Plaintiff Janine Walters says she and the defendant were adopted by the same family. But after their adopted mother died, they were both subjected to years of physical abuse.
So tell me what went wrong.
What went wrong is the night of November, day before Thanksgiving, I went to Lafayette, Indiana to see my sister to do Thanksgiving because we always celebrate holidays together. And doing so, I was in the kitchen prepping for Thanksgiving. Alicia at that time had asked me, can she borrow my vehicle? Where she was trying to go to, it was like walking distance. She didn't necessarily need to drive my vehicle. And at that point in time,
So did you say no?
I did initially. I kept saying no. My older sister was like, because she just kept going on about it. My older sister was like, if you let her drive your car already, because at the time I was already letting my sister her drive the vehicle when she was staying with me to and from work. So she was already using my vehicle. It just, I felt like that night the gas station is right here.
Correct.
You can walk. But she wouldn't let up. So my older sister said, just let her drive the car. So I said, you know what? I'm cooking, prepping, go ahead. Just leave me alone. Drive the car and come right back. I would say...
The gas station is close, as she says. It was right.
It is.
Pardon me?
But I wasn't familiar with that area because
okay.
at the time I wasn't talking to our sister like
You
that
was
either.
concerned that if you walked.
It was raining too, so it was like I didn't want to walk
Go
in
ahead.
the rain.
She said it was raining. So.
Right, that's the issue. It was raining.
Yeah, well, then you shouldn't have expected.
It was drizzling, sir. I had just...
Same thing, drizzling. You don't know when it's going to pour. You wanted to walk into the drizzle and pray to God and keep looking up. Please don't pour. Please don't pour. Just keep drizzling. Because my sister say all it's doing is drizzling out here and it ain't going to never pour. Go ahead, ma'am.
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
So go ahead.
No, Your Honor. What happened was I had just walked my sister American Pit Bully, and it was literally like...
Let's get
drizzling.
to what happened to you.
So, anyways, I gave in. I allowed her to drive the vehicle around the corner. Well, while I'm in the kitchen prepping, I noticed 15, 20 minutes go by. And
Now, let me stop you right there because, so for future references,
Okay.
when they say, well, it's drizzling outside, then say, wait till it stops.
Sure.
And then you can walk.
You're right, Your Honor.
All right.
You're
Go
right.
ahead, though. So
I'm going to use that one.
there you go. It's raining. We'll wait till it stops. You didn't get in my car.
That's a good one, though. So at that point in time, my older sister was like, where's Alicia? So I was like, okay, let me call. I called her. She immediately, now, Your Honor, just to give you a little background, she played a prank on me before saying, oh, somebody damaged her car before, but it was a prank, right? So when I called her and she asked, she's hysterical, crying, but she was like, somebody hit your car. So my first thought was, I said, you joking, right? This is a prank, right? Tell me you're pranking me, right? So she was like, no, I literally was in my ex-boyfriend boxer shorts and I threw on some rain boots and a big t-shirt and I literally went to the gas station. She had my car in park. It was not in the position where initially how it got hit. When I reviewed the cameras, the gas station cameras, I could see she went out too far into the street. So when oncoming traffic came, they just knocked the whole front end of my car.
You tell me what happened.
When I got in the car, I did pull out, but I didn't think that I was far out. So when I got hit, they instantly kept going towards the green light and just kept going. So what I did was I instantly just backed back and parked the car and called her because her whole bumper was like hanging off and I ain't want to drive all the way back to the house with her car like that. So I do admit like it's my fault. And
Okay, let me hear the rest then. So far, she agrees it happened. We'll see what she says about the repairs, but she agrees it happened. So what else? She agreed it happened. What was the discussions? Was there any I'll get it
It
fixed
wasn't really,
discussions?
yeah, but it wasn't that night because I was just too shaken.
Okay, I know it wouldn't have been. I don't want to talk to you that night. You're right.
We got home. When we got home, I asked, I said, so what are we finna do? Because before we left town, I had to give the guy $600, all my cash. At that point in time, she says, yes, I'm a pay you. I said, well, how? You know, she says, well, I'm going to call into work. I'm going to ask for these extra shifts. So I said, okay, you know, again, just trying to keep cool and figure out my next moves or how I'm get around and stuff like that. So at that point in time, I noticed the first time she called into her job, the same one she asked for the shifts and called off. So I let that slide. The second time, because this time, Your Honor, we back at home. She's already fully moved into my son's room. My son is not even at home. He's in Lafayette for the summer.
Plaintiff Janine Walters says she and the defendant were adopted by the same family. But after their adopted mother died, they were both subjected to years of physical abuse.
We got the car. What else does she owe you for?
Right. Well, she had previously owed rent too. 2 months. She was 2 months behind.
What has she said since you've asked for your money?
She just keep making promises saying she gonna.
Okay, she doesn't dispute that she owes you that amount?
Right, but she keeps
All right,
saying.
ma'am, why haven't you paid her? She says you don't dispute the amount that you owe.
Your Honor, by the time we came back to Chicago from Lafayette, I did call them the 2 times, but I was in the middle of getting my unemployment as well. And Jenny was just making it hard for me because at the end of the day, I was still giving her all my checks that I were making. The only money I had was to make sure that my son had pull-ups, wipes, and make sure he was just straight.
Well, there was enough for the 10 or 20 people that came over the party, yeah.
The money I was giving her, I tell her, like, yeah, I just gave you this, so that wasn't part of that. Like, where's all this other money coming from that I owe you? And so she came out with this written agreement and said that if I didn't sign it, that she was gonna put me out. So I ain't gonna lie, I signed it. And so she called herself trying to snap.
Did you sign it because you owed as well?
I just felt like because I was behind on trying to, pay up.
Did you owe? That's the question I have, ma'am. Did
Yes.
you owe for the agreement that you signed?
Yes.
So what's the difference now? What has changed? If you owed and you knew you owed when you signed the agreement, then what's the difference now? Why don't you owe now?
I was playing catch up, man. By the time I got my unemployment, I tried to offer her, hey, this money finna hit my account. I give you the money. Oh, keep your money. I don't want nothing from you. Wish death upon me. And I'm not finna just keep sitting here arguing with you like it's not getting nowhere.
So she told you don't have to pay anymore.
She was just basically telling me keep it, and I'm just
What do you
like,
mean basically? Give me the language that she said.
That was all
she said,
exact.
you don't have to pay me. Give me something that I can interpret as a reasonable response, meaning she told you you don't have to pay her anymore. What did she say?
her exact words was, oh, Alicia, how long you just finna keep saying that you're gonna give me the money? Oh, well, just keep it. You wish death upon me. That was her exact words. I said, I'm not finna sit on this phone and argue with you, and I hung up on her. And that was it.
Okay. And that's why you don't think you should pay, because she told you don't have to anymore.
I had 2 deaths in the family, and I was.
No, we
and
talking
out.
about that discussion because that's what you seem to be using as your defense. You're just throwing in the 2 deaths. I hate to hear that happen, but yeah, that has no relevance to what we're talking about now. So do you admit that
Yes.
you owe this amount or not?
I do.
All right, $3,100 is your judgment. She
Thank
admitted
you, Your
that she
Honor.
owes. Have a good day.
All this could have been avoided had we just, communicated and you made some type of payments. I always told you throughout this, you could have paid me 5 cents. You could have paid me a penny. That would have showed good faith. We did not have to come here and get to this point, but unfortunately, you allowed this to come between us, and it's been 2 years of just nothing from us. I hate that we here. I miss our relationship. I wish we can do counseling, but that's just where I'm at.
Plaintiff Rayvette Smith says she's been friends with the defendant for over 16 years, and they did everything together. Rayvette claims she and the defendant would party, travel, and even spend holidays together. But she's suing her today for a hotel room, flight, and travel agent fee. Defendant Satoya Fain says she and Rayvette have had their ups and downs throughout their friendship. And once they got into an argument over cooking macaroni and cheese on Thanksgiving. Satoya believes Rayvette is suing her prematurely.
Start with you.
All right. Well, basically, this has been my friend for over 16 years now. I love Toya. I really do. I love her to death. We pretty much do everything together. We go out together. We plan parties together. We travel a lot. You know, one year we even did a Thanksgiving where we both cooked together. We went to homecoming togetber. We dressed up like twins.
You all went to high school homecoming or
Yeah,
college,
my high school. She went with me. I'm a year older.
Dressed up like twins?
We dressed up like twins, yeah.
You have that?
It's a lot of pictures of us. She was my only friend that came to my graduation, you know. So it's definitely like no hard feelings. It's just a messed up situation. At this point, it's just went downhill, you know.
Okay, let me get some background from you, ma'am, before we get into the details here.
Yes, I have known Raven for a long time, and we have had our ups and downs, and we have been through a whole lot of stuff together. Them 16
What ups and
years.
downs?
Well, one time I had let her live with me one time, and it was around Thanksgiving time, and we had a big argument about some macaroni and cheese, and who was gonna make the best macaroni and cheese and who wasn't. And she didn't talk to me for about 2 weeks to a month over it.
Some macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, some macaroni and cheese, Your Honor. That's what I was saying. It's just like kind of petty stuff.
Have you all ever had a money dispute before?
Not really a money dispute, but it was like, well, when she was staying with me, I had let her claim one of my daughter.
Claim your daughter on the income tax?
Yeah, because she was helping me out. She was like a godmom or whatever.
You kept the daughter the majority of the time?
Sometimes. She was like a godmom to my daughter.
Majority of the time, it means the majority of the year.
Yes, the majority of the year.
Oh, so you didn't keep your own child the majority?
Yes, I was working. And,
but there's only one person you can keep the majority of the year.
Okay, well, she was there majority of that year. So,
all right. And you didn't claim the child?
No, I did not claim
I don't
her.
believe you allowed her to keep your child the majority of the year, so I think you're being dishonest with me. I believe you're lying because you want to back up the illegal tax evasion that you all engaged in. So, you already hurt your case. Now, let's move on. Tell me what you're suing her about. I see what we got so far. Go ahead. $1,586, and you're suing her for this, for hotel, flight, and travel agents, and you didn't mention your fraud that she alleges, so I can't conclude that you did it just because she alleges it, and that's not part of the case. So you might want to stay away from it before I cross-examine you.
Defendant Satoya Fain was friends with the plaintiff, but she claims they've had their ups and downs and once got into an argument about cooking macaroni and cheese.
Go ahead.
Well, basically, you know, I'm struggling from the situation, you know, and she had been on plenty trips after that.
Tell me what happened. I don't know what happened with this one.
Well, basically, we went on a trip to the Dominican Republic, and at the time, well, we was already paid for it, and she still wanted to go. You know, being my friend, we was talking about it. I love her. I'm like, yeah, I want you to go too. I know we'll have fun. We'll enjoy each other, you know. And the other friends that went, I don't think I would have had as much fun. So I'm gonna try to help my friend. So originally, she wanted just for me to help her out a little bit.
How you gonna help her? Didn't you live with her, she said?
No, I ain't never lived with her.
She just said you lived with her the majority of that year.
That was like when we was 18, 19.
No, the year that you claimed her
18,
child
19.
as her, you lived with her the
18,
majority of that
19.
year?
No, I did not live with her. So.
Ever, the majority of a year?
That year, it was like
What
a
year?
month or two.
What year? That was 18 or 19?
Yes, sir.
All right, so she lied on you, obviously.
Yes.
Okay, good enough. Go ahead.
Okay.
You can't just tell me anything and I'm gonna let it go. That's what judges do. They find out who's lying so they can make a decision. And while trying to find out the lie, you're both over here looking like, Judge, why you asking me this, Judge? I want to see if you're a liar. Go ahead.
Okay, well, we was planning a trip, and she backed out of it because she had got pregnant or whatever. So me and other friends were still gonna go. Come April, we start talking about it again. The trip was Memorial Weekend, this past Memorial Weekend, which is in May. So, you know, she talking about it, I'm talking about it, and I'm like, well, I can help you out a little bit. was like $400, which was still gonna be the loan as well. Well, things came up and she couldn't come up with it. So I'm like, well, you gotta definitely pay me back because I'm in the process of moving from state to state. At the time I was living in Washington State and I was moving down to Georgia and I had to pay for my own as well. And she was like, I got you, and I trust her. I'm like, okay, cool. I paid for the hotel and the travel. And then a week went by and she couldn't come up with the flight neither. So I'm like, well, Toya, if I give you this, I need it right back because this is my car note money. You know, I'm moving, this is my savings, I'm gonna need this right back. And that was before we even went on the trip, which was May 10th. I needed it by May 10th. And she said, I got you, I'm getting my first month check and I'm gonna ask my boyfriend if he can help me out.
And how much has she paid thus far?
Nothing.
All right, ma'am.
Well, I don't believe that I owe her anything after the agreement was, she knew that I didn't have the money, and she knew
The
that.
agreement is what?
I got proof.
Ma'am, would you let her finish?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Well, the agreement is.
Show me your proof. You want to interrupt so that she
Okay.
can go ahead and come up with a lie regarding that. I was just letting, yeah. Show me your proof, and I promise you, she's getting ready. She's preparing a lie for that proof right now. Instead of you allowing me to cross-examine and catch you on the lie, you think you're better than me. So let's see if you're better than me in catching somebody in the lie.
Okay, well, this was the
She
first
wanna
one on May
interrupt me.
9th.
Let's see it.
And then this was the last
No,
one.
we're going to go with what she said, whether that was a lie so far. And you just said what? And she handed me something that she says disproves that. What did you just say?
Okay,
About
well,
an agreement? There
Well,
was
the agreement was when to pay her back when I got a job. Well, I didn't end up getting a job until July the 28th. I had contacted her and asked her for her account information to start sending her money. But before I can send her any money, she already sent me. I already had a court date.
Okay, let me read this. She said the agreement was that she'd pay you back when she got a job. And you handed me this to disprove what she said, and this has absolutely nothing to do with what she said.
Yes,
So this
she
doesn't
said-
disprove it. It doesn't. You handed me some evidence that has absolutely nothing to do with what she just said.
That
So
was
once
supposed to be-
again, you should let me do the cross-examining.
I'm sorry.
And proving it. I got proof. No, you don't. This is not proof. You have no proof. It says, I called and texted you. Let me know what's going on. I really need to pay my car note, so I won't have no late charges. So just hit me up when you can. This doesn't disprove that she was going to pay you when she got a job, because her response did not
It's right here, I'm
indicate
sorry.
that. Let
The
me
text
finish
message.
with her. I'm not asking
Oh,
you
I'm
for your
sorry.
evidence yet. You just messed up on this one. Go ahead. Let her finish saying what she's going to say.
Defendant Satoya Fain was friends with the plaintiff, but she claims they've had their ups and downs and once got into an argument about cooking macaroni and cheese.
She said you don't have to pay her back until you got a job. That's what you claimed the
Yeah.
agreement was? Approximately what month?
It was in May.
All right. May, she said, don't pay me until you get a job. You get a job yet?
Yes, July the 28th.
So why don't you think you should pay
Because I think
after getting the job?
I think she was suing me too soon, and I was about to start paying her until she sent me
All right.
to court.
She may have too soon, but you owe now. So I don't. And so you're saying because she asked for her money a couple of days early, that means you don't have to pay her once you get the job?
No, I
What are
had,
you saying exactly?
she had already start sending me to court.
Okay, so instead of selling out of court, you say, well, I'll just go to court and get the judgment against me, because when I get to court, I'm going to agree that I owe her. But I'm going to say the only reason I didn't pay her is because she brought me to court. That's bad logic.
Well,
The
no.
logic is, let me pay her to keep from going to court, because I know when I go to court, I'm going to have to admit that I owe her.
But before I could pay
You
her,
just wanted a trip to Chicago. Didn't you? That's what this is about. All right. You got your trip, and you're working now. So all that's left to be done is to pay her money back. $1,586. She does not deny owing you. She says she doesn't want to pay you because you brought her to court to drag it out a little bit, and so she can come on national TV and be ordered to pay. Have a good day.
I don't know about the relationship, but I know she don't want to be friends after this court date today.
I didn't say that. Why would I not want to be your friend?
That's
That
all
don't
on
make sense.
Facebook.
I ain't never
I'm
said that
losing
to
a
her.
friend for 16 years.
Yeah, because I felt
don't
like you
owe
just was like, forget you.
Plaintiff Ira Pupko says the night before Thanksgiving last year, he was at a restaurant, and once he got into his car to leave, another car was blocking him in. As a result, Ira was unintentionally blocking the defendant in. And once the defendant came out of the restaurant, he pulled Ira out of the car and assaulted him. So he's suing. Defendant Daniel Berliner says he wouldn't even be here today if Ira had simply moved his car. Daniel insists he didn't initiate the attack and was only defending himself against Ira. And he's countersuing for attorney fees and pain and suffering.
Start with you.
Your Honor, it was Thanksgiving Eve of last year. Myself and a party of 3 other people exited a restaurant, and it was a business meeting. We got in the car, we backed out, we were looking to leave the parking lot. Another car pulled up in front of us on the corner and stopped in front of us, and a young lady jumped out, ran into the restaurant. We were in good spirits. It was, the next day Thanksgiving. It was holiday time. We weren't in any particular hurry. It was a pleasant business meeting. What we thought might be 30 seconds or a minute turned into being a few minutes that we were waiting. I didn't want to go around the car because I had just gotten my first speeding ticket not long ago, first speeding ticket in 20 years, and I didn't want to break any traffic laws, and also it was a blind corner, and I didn't want to risk another car coming and meeting us head on. So we stayed there. In the interim, the defendant came out with his party. Apparently, we were blocking him. We were waiting behind his vehicle. I didn't notice this. He came over to my window, which was halfway down, and he said, "Move your car, you expletive moron." And I said, "I may be a moron, but that has nothing to do with it."
He was already angry?
He came over very confrontational, very angry. If he would have just said it in a decent way, we wouldn't be here today. It was Thanksgiving Eve.
Supposed to be happy.
So,
what he could have been mad about? Thanksgiving of 08 or November of 08. Oh, you're Republican. Obama had just won. That's what it is. Obama had just won. All right. Yeah, that's what you was angry about. Don't take it out on him. Go ahead.
And when I said, "I may be a moron, but that has nothing to do with it," the next thing I knew, I was being pulled out of my vehicle. He, by his own admission, opened my car door. He pulled me out of the vehicle. The next thing, my glasses fell off. I'm blind without them. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground. I was being punched in the head, apparently. It all happened very quickly. My ears were bloodied. I had a contused knee. I have an arthritic right knee. It aggravated that situation. I didn't, that's what happened.
Let me hear from you, sir. This is ridiculous if it's true.
Well, unfortunately, it's not true. It's pretty well fabricated. Number one, we wouldn't be here right now if he had just moved the car. And to this day, I wonder why he didn't just move the car. And I've never had the opportunity to ask him, but I'd really like to know why he didn't move the car.
Is it true that he had only been there several seconds before you jumped out and called him a moron?
No, I'd say it was probably a couple of minutes.
So you got in your car and you sat there for a couple of minutes.
Right.
Had you ever asked him at that point, maybe 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds?
I'd asked twice.
Okay, do you tell me what happened?
My daughter and I walked out of the restaurant, and as I'm walking by, he was the only one in the vehicle. His male passenger was sitting on the hood of his car. I think there was a confrontation going on between him and the car that was in front of him. I did go over, and I did call him a moron. I don't recall the expletive. I did call him a moron.
Why?
Why you move? Why won't you move? Let me get out of my parking place.
You say you had already asked him twice.
Well, I asked his passenger, and we did talk for a couple of minutes.
Do you know whether his passenger conveyed your request to him?
It looked to me like he had, yes.
He walked around to the driver's side.
I'd shout out the window, "Hey, could you ask him to move, please?" And he walked from there around the side of the car.
Well, Your Honor, the man reached inside my car and opened my car door. He opened my car door.
He had no right to do that. That is assault, sir. You can't, anytime you grab something that is that close in proximity to someone, you are assaulting them. For example, if I have this and Doyle snatches it out of my hand, he has assaulted me because it's attached to me.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna do it.
I'm
not that dumb.
I obviously felt threatened, Your Honor, by his actions, and I felt the need to defend myself at that point.
Tell me what happened thereafter. Did the police get involved or what?
Yeah, somebody called the police. The sheriff came, took statements from witnesses, which I have here. I have the full police report, Your Honor. I've highlighted the pertinent areas of the report.
Go ahead.
Their witnesses attest to the fact that he was the aggressor. The police decided to arrest him and release him. The district attorney decided to prosecute. The defendant has recently, I think August 8th, pled guilty to the criminal offense. And I've sustained permanent lifelong injuries. I had a contused chest. I had 2 bloodied ears. I landed on my right knee, which was bloodied, and I have an arthritic. I am legally handicapped based on my knee. And I was diagnosed with TMJ, which is a clicking of the jaw, which is lifelong. And I will have, according to the doctors, and have had since, continuous headaches from the TMJ.
What personal property was damaged?
I lost an earring, $700 diamond. I have that appraisal. I lost a pair of eyeglasses were destroyed. I lost a silk shirt. Okay. It was all as a result of the beating that I took.
So what's your defense?
Okay, he's playing the victim here, and I checked the public records, and 16 days prior to this, he was charged with felony spousal abuse.
What else? That's one case you're trying to demonstrate that he has a propensity for violence.
Well, and he's saying that I pled guilty. Here is the charges where my battery charge was dismissed, and the prosecuting.
Why did you say he pled guilty to something?
Because
the man said that he was acquitted altogether. He said it was dismissed.
The assistant.
I'm going to get you for perjury, sir.
Your Honor.
You said that he admitted guilt to something.
He did.
He said no such thing. You still perjuring yourself.
Your Honor, I was told by the assistant district attorney, respectfully, that he pled guilty.
The man said that, sir, this says convicted.
Your Honor, of playing loud music.
Oh my God.
Well, show me where it says playing loud music, please. And by the way, it looks as if this was a plea bargain.
It was a plea bargain, Your Honor.
Yeah, again, that's...
Sir, plea bargains are something that you do to reduce the prospects of a guilty plea, but nonetheless, that guilty plea was associated with the crime that you were charged with. It was not a separate action. It's an admission of guilt to something associated with the charge that resulted from the action that you committed.
May I add something, sir?
Teach me the law.
Okay. And I understand that, but if it had been handled properly, he would have been charged with something at the same time. Now he just
handled properly. What do you mean by that?
Because then he would have had
properly by whom?
By the district attorney.
Oh, so they messed up.
Well, he just stated
they messed up by not charging him.
He stated a few moments ago that he did not request that it was the police that decided to charge me. If you read in his police report there, it will tell you that he specifically requested that I be charged. Okay.
So it should be dismissed.
And I asked that his associate be charged because his associate was the first one to throw a punch.
What did they say?
The police officer and again, police are great people. This guy, he was a canine officer, and I hope he's a good canine officer because he's a horrible investigator. And he decided that the other guy was protecting him or something. He's the one who started the pushing, not me. He's the one who came out of the car pushing. So I mean, if you read the police report,
you went to court and argued that, sir. The purpose of plea bargains is to expedite a case where there is evidence of guilt, and so the person charged says, okay, I can plea bargain and get probation. What'd you get, by the way?
Fine of $65 or $55.
A lot easier.
Yeah.
I can plea bargain and pay $55, or I can go to trial and contend what I believe to be the truth, and that is that I did nothing wrong. But I believe they might have enough evidence to prove that I did something wrong.
May I address
so I
that?
made to pay this $65. Go ahead.
May I address, because my attorney and I discussed that at length. A month after this incident, so in December of 2008, I lost my job, and I was unemployed till August. So it was a hardship, number one, hiring him to get it to that point. I didn't have any money.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the prosecutor was bad because you didn't have any money. That didn't mean that you were in the wrong because you didn't have any money. So, sir, there's a presumption of guilt whenever you plead guilty, and that presumption causes you to be liable. Your counterclaim for $5,000 for assault is also dismissed because he would only be liable if he was the aggressor, and you pled guilty. He has not been convicted of anything regarding this incident. In fact, you have, and I'm going to grant his judgment. The medical bills and the pain and suffering he endured would certainly deserve a $5,000 judgment, and so it is. Your claim is dismissed, sir. Judgment for the plaintiff.
My health is great. I have headaches from the TMJ, and it's over. I'm glad justice was served.
Well, I think, throughout the entire police report, he lied and all of his passengers lied, so I'm just assuming he's lying about that also. So he didn't seek medical care for like 2 weeks after the incident, so I'm not sure how bad it could have been coming from that incident.
It was blown out of proportion, a fight that I just blew out of proportion, that's it.
Plaintiff Ricardo Gutierrez and his wife Brittany Steiner say when Ricardo met the defendant, he was 17 and in high school, and the defendant was 36. Ricardo claims after years of dating, he and the defendant got married, but their marriage fell apart due to the defendant's drinking. Ricardo's suing his ex-wife for car payments and a credit card bill. Defendant Amy Rhodes says before she married Ricardo, she caught him talking to other women online, and that behavior continued even after they wed. Amy claims the real reason their marriage fell apart is because Ricardo left her for Brittany on Thanksgiving Day, and she has no idea why he's suing her today.
Start with you.
Yes, sir. I met Amy in 2006. I was 17 in high school at the time. Amy was 36 at the time. I had a group of friends that I hung out with that we would go to Amy's house and hang out and watch movies and this and that.
And this and that. Smoke weed and drink?
No drinking, sir, but we did smoke.
Go ahead.
And we would hang out with her, and then me and Amy became very close. We started dating. We dated for several years. And then after years of dating, we got married. We were married for several years. In the beginning, things were fine. And then over time, things started to deteriorate. Amy started to drink very heavily. She would hide it from me. She would come home from work, and she would already be drunk because she would drink on the way home. I think family...
How long were you all together?
I believe it was like...
You dated how many?
I believe we dated 3 years.
And married how long?
I believe 5.
6.
Okay. Ma'am, you want to give me some background?
Yes, he's correct. We met through some friends. We started dating several months after that. Then before the wedding, I actually caught Ricardo online, like 3 days before the wedding. I caught him online looking at other women locally on Craigslist to try to hook up with. I let that slide, and for the first 2 years of our marriage, I caught him at least 6 or 7 times more doing the same thing, if not trying to reach out to old girlfriends to hook up. Since that, things got better. I had given him some real ultimatums, like it was going to be over. And he really, really begged and said he wouldn't do it again. I believed him. He's correct. I absolutely did start drinking about the last 6 months of our marriage. I had a huge family matter that came up, and I needed a husband around, and he was never around. He would work. He got a second job, so he worked 7 a.m. to midnight. He got home around 1. I begged and pleaded him to quit his second job so he could please be there for me. I needed a support system. I was going through hardship, and at that time, wine became my best friend because my best friend had left. Since then, I have gotten my act together. I go.
How long ago did you all divorce?
3 years this month.
Okay.
At any rate,
got yourself together. You say
absolutely. Yes,
strong.
and I'm in recovery. Absolutely. So at any rate, we kind of started growing distant, and he started not coming home until 9, 10, 10:30 at night. He was telling me he was the wingman for his friend that was dating somebody at Hooters. Come to find out, he was oftentimes meeting with her. It was his colleague from work. And then I started knowing something was wrong, so I started checking phone records on our phone bill, and I started seeing that he was texting and talking to somebody on the phone about 5 hours a day. I called the phone number. It went to her. He left me on Thanksgiving Day for her. So at any rate...
Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, Thanksgiving Day, and he moved immediately in with her. Yes.
Did you want to address any of these things she said?
I did not ever cheat on Amy while we were together. Yes, I did speak to Brittany there near the end, but we did not ever have
5 hours a day?
That's incorrect, Your Honor. We would text or whatnot randomly, but we worked together, and we all texted in group text messages.
He does have a nice voice. All right.
And we wouldn't talk. No, we rarely talked on the phone, honestly.
All right.
I had the phone bills to prove.
We never assumed any relations while I was married to Amy, like I'm sure she assumes or is going to claim.
All right. And tell me about the car payment and credit card bill you're suing for.
I had asked about an account, a joint account that we had, and they had told me it was closed, that it was a zero balance. And come to find out in February, Miss Amy had last year in September and November made a couple purchases, about $3,300 worth on that account in 2013. Then on the car, on the original divorce decree, she had wrote up, she had 30 days to take the car out of my name, and till this day it is still in my name, and I'm still legally responsible. And
is she paying?
She's paying, but all the payments that she makes are 15, 20, 25 days late. She has shown a pattern of not being able, financially responsible.
Show me that?
Yes,
That's
sir.
actually not true.
And she's only made one payment on the furniture so far. We had to freeze the account so it wouldn't hit his.
Actually, this is the amazing part. I've never seen her. I've never seen her in my life, but apparently it's a we.
Is it her name too?
No, I've never seen her till today.
We are married currently, so it affects me as well in our future. So therefore, it is a we. When you are married, it is joint.
But the problem is that you froze the account, and now I can't make a payment. I was only late once.
I verified with the manager you can make a payment. That's the only thing you can do. You just can't charge it.
I've never been able to make a payment. I've called, and I've tried doing it online.
Do you have proof of that?
Yep, I've called.
Man, I bet both of them boss you around.
I know. He loves the dominant women, doesn't he?
She boss you around first and not she's bossing.
Yeah.
I have a credit score report showing how my credit took a hit after Amy did not make a payment on the account.
Your Honor, I have never been late on a car payment.
Now, I must tell you, ma'am, he can accelerate a debt repayment if someone breaches. If you've breached one time, they have the ability to accelerate that payment. What about the credit card, ma'am? What do you say to that?
So in September, I needed to get a new mattress and mattress cover. I went to the furniture store. Actually, before I went, the account had been closed, and I was the primary. Ricardo was the secondary. When I called, I had told them, we are absolutely not married anymore. Take his name off. This is not a joint account. We are divorced. We've been divorced almost 3 years. This is going to be my new address. You need to change this to my new maiden name, and I have the card to prove I changed it to my maiden name. And they told me that it was taken care of, and they mailed me the card in the mail. When I went
to her card there that indicates her maiden name.
When I went to the store to use the card, everything was fine.
The only real issue is whether you paid for the things you charged.
I've paid everything on time. December was 10 or 11 days late, I believe it was. And I paid January. I was not able to pay February or March because I called in and I tried doing it online. And they told me that the account had been frozen for fraud by Ricardo Gutierrez, who is not the primary, who is the secondary. And now at this point, he's closed the account. And I can't make a payment at all.
You reported a fraudulent claim?
I tried to, and they said...
Why? She got a card put in your name without your permission?
Back in 2013, that card was opened up But
you all were still married then.
Then yes.
Well,
but
then
these
it wasn't
purchases
without your permission.
These purchases.
Remember your wife. Listen to your wife now. Joint.
At the time
Listen to wife number 2.
But at the time the purchases were made, we had been separated for.
I understand, but we're talking about the legal status of divorce, and you weren't at that time, so she
Correct.
had a right to open it up.
At the time of the purchase.
Just repeating what your wife said, sir.
At the time of the purchases,
look,
though.
she knows the same amount of laws I know. So, what's that?
At the time of the purchases, we had been divorced legally for over a year.
You say the car was open in 13, and you all were still married.
No, but I reported it fraudulent in February when I found out on my credit that it had gone to negative.
All right, but it wasn't fraudulent. That's my point.
Well, her purchases.
Unless the judge ordered you all to close the accounts, you then closed it, and then she reopened it. That's fraud. She may have to pay it.
Absolutely, I will.
Or your ex-wife did not defraud you. Where's the credit card? Is this it?
Yes, that's the credit card that affected him, and the proof behind
Yeah,
it
but what
is
is
saying the
the
date.
owed on
I
that?
have it.
Okay.
So I have
And does
the
it
letter.
add up to $5,000
Oh, here you
now?
go, sir.
The car and the credit
No,
card?
that's only for the furniture piece that they're saying is fraudulent.
And the amount owed.
I've
does it
highlighted
say?
pieces for you.
All right. $2,836.
Yes, sir.
And once again, the debt on the car.
I have that as well,
actual
sir.
Debt? Let's see that.
So there are 3.5 payments left at $726 a month.
And you haven't missed any in the past?
No, I've not.
But it appears
Not
you've
one
been
payment
late.
has been over 30 days, ever.
So it's never been a
Never.
credit blemish
No.
for the car?
For the
Can
car.
you show me that?
For the car, no,
Show
just,
me
just for the furniture.
All right, so I'll grant you the judgment for the furniture, $2,836, and she has 3 more payments. She has not missed one on the car, so I'm not granting you a judgment on that, and let her continue paying as she has. Have a good day.
I wish them the very best, and I am glad that this is over with.
I wish Amy the very best, and I would just like to move on with my life. And
I would like her to stay out of our life and stop intermingling or doing things so she can be connected to him and just let him go finally.